Hello everybody. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, should be working. So, hello everybody. Welcome to another live coding session of Uno platform. And today I would like to take a look on some windowing APIs, specifically on AppWindow API on Windows, on WinUI, because that's the API that handles most of the windowing on WinUI, and we want to have it available on Uno platform as well. So we will be kind of adding things that we are currently missing in Uno platform. Many of the things are specific to desktops, but I mean, we will be able to implement at least those which are available on desktop devices, and those which are not available on mobile, we will just fake or not provide. So this will be, I think, mostly Windows specific, desktop Windows specific ones, but some of them will be also possible on mobile. So let's get started. And hello, Limanai. There is a question already about Bluetooth support on Uno platform, and no, we don't have Bluetooth support yet, Bluetooth API. There is an issue which I encourage you to upvote, which to kind of provide support for implementation of this. So this is the 7710. That issue is to add Bluetooth APIs support, and it should be possible because there is already a cross-platform library that's supporting Android, iOS, macOS, and Windows. And then there are also WebAssembly APIs or JavaScript APIs that are providing this feature. So technically, it should be possible to implement it everywhere. And it's just quite a larger chunk of work. So we need to figure out how to prioritize it and how to bring it efficiently to all the platforms. So yeah, that's probably the main blocker to it. So if you thumbs up this issue and provide your support, it's more likely that we will get to it sooner. So showing support this way is very beneficial. And hello, KVK R&D. So let's get started. Yeah, I will switch to my branch. I already created some branch that contains some work on this, but what I will do first is that I will create some sample on which we could test some of those features that we will be implementing. So I will first switch my target to be Windows, specifically WinUI, and then we will start doing something there. So let's see. This is not closing. All right. Good. So here we have the Windows target. So I will first let it build, and the AppWindow API is in Microsoft UI windowing namespace, and I think that there should be already this folder for it. Hello, MCNets. So I will create a new sample here that will be about what I wanted to first implement as the most important APIs here is positioning and sizing of the window. So position and size, as well as there are resize and move methods. So these two methods and these two properties seem to be the most crucial ones for proper windowing. So let's get started with those. So window positioning. All right, maybe like this. App window positioning. or app window position and size. That's better. So app window position and size, and I think that is position size, and this will click client size. That's the inner size of the window, like the area where your application's content is being rendered. And there is also this changed event, and I think that's something that we will need to support as well, because that one gives you information that something changed, and there is a did position change and there is did size change. So these two probably are also relevant for us. So I will do this one, and let's create a sample page. It has built correctly. So this is our sample application, which has received several new updates recently. So we have now this simple playground where you can just write some XAML and will generate the UI for you. So I just can update stuff and say hello stream, and I click apply and shows that button. So this is kind of good for quick testing of new features or quick testing of XAML and UI related changes without having to create one new sample for it. So this is quite useful new feature. Also, we have this manual tests only checkbox, which filters the tests which are specifically for manual testing. So we will be able to validate things for regressions, which are only validatable using manual testing, not automated testing. So there are some things like that. So yeah, that's why we have this filter now. But anyways, let's go to windowing. So I see there is a windowing. Okay, there is a windowing section here. Maybe it's not necessary to have two different sections for the same thing essentially. So I will probably move the existing samples there as well, because the less categories, the easier it is to navigate. So I will do it like this and use the same thing here. So windowing, the name of this will be app window position and size. And it is a manual test because this is something that cannot be easily automated. And it's gonna have a view model as well. Just close Teams now. Size view model. Okay, so that is something already suggested by Copilot, but I think we'll not be using it directly. So let's see. This is the right one. I have the page here. So this is the view model, and there will be playground for window position and size changes. So it's gonna be just a simple description to allow people who are using the sample to understand what it does and how to test it. So I'll just remove these, which actually don't make much sense in this context. And now the existing sample that I have here is using main window of the app. So I think we can for now use that as well. And one more thing, that is data context changed. I will just create a method so that I can create a view model here, so that I can also use xbind, not just regular binding, which is just better. So like this. Right, so now I will take the app window, so private app window window, and I will get it from AppWindow application current from the app, and there is a main window or window. Okay, so it's not that. How was that? Oh, it's a static one. Okay, I didn't know. So app, main window, and app window. So this is the instance of the app window for the samples app. And now we will have some methods here. So one will be set position or move. So it's the same name as the method in app window. So there is a move method which takes in a point in 32 parameter, and that sets the position of the app window. So something like this, but the parameter here, we would like to have something to get the position from. So instead of a parameter, let's create a, or internal is fine, point in 32 position, kind of property to set the position or get the position. And I want also to have X. Actually, let's do it like this. Private point 32 position. And that will be a backing field for this property, and also for the two fields. So there will be a getter that will return position X, and then setter which will set the value. And on property, or I think we don't have an on property change here. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So this one. It's kind of odd name, but I guess it works. But yeah, it's actually, I don't think this could work because it's gonna set the field, but it's a struct, so it's not gonna change. So I will just do it like this. If position X are equal to value, then we update. So position X equals value, and raise property changed, and the same thing for epsilon. So let's do it like this. This is just a sample view model, so nothing too fancy. I'm not trying to make it too nice here. Actually, let's do one more thing here. I will do a try catch as well, so that I can catch potential exceptions. Right, so in case there is an exception, I will just create a simple async task, show message method. We'll take the message and show that as a content dialog. Okay, so the message dialog XAML root will be equal to XAML root. So it must be, oh, I need the XAML root there. So I will be setting it here. So there will be a internal XAML root property so that I can easily show the content dialog, and then just wait content dialog show async, although I also need a button to close it. So okay, primary button text will be okay. So here I will do wait show message just to be able to show that there was an exception and something happened there. So this is the move method. Then I will have also async void resize method, and it's going to be very similar to this. So I will just do copy of this and just do the names there. So this will be a width, and this will be height. Not sure why notifications are showing up, even though I have do not disturb set on, but probably it's overriding it. So let's see, private size 32 size, and then it's gonna be size width, and size width. And then height will be the same thing, so size, height, size, height, and height. So we have the sizing properties prepared, and now I just need this one, which will be size int 32, size, and it's going to be pointing to size. Size field. So this one will be calling very similar thing to this, just with resize method. Resize, size. Oh, right. It's gonna be the size property, and then it's gonna show the message as necessary. So I think that would be it. So now what we want is to create some UI to actually use these properties. So I will create a StackPanel that will, and I'm getting no IntelliSense whatsoever, which is interesting. That's pretty odd, actually. Nothing at all. Well, that would be quite annoying. So let's try to save this, and let's reopen the same thing in Visual Studio Preview. Maybe it's gonna be better. Let's see, did this update Proch items? Yes, it did. So in that sense, it seems to be okay, but well, interesting that I'm getting no IntelliSense there. So let's see if this will work. Yeah, it's better. No, it's not better actually. It's the same thing, just seeing snippets, which is okay. Now it's working. Okay, so there will be a button with resize, button with move. There will be a text, number box with value expound to view model dot x with header of x, now y. So this is what we the positioning. So move, and there will be let's do spacing so it's nicer, and padding. You always need some padding to make it breathe a little bit. The UI cannot be too cramped, right? Even though it's just a sample, but still, it still needs to feel right. So width, xbind to view model dot width, and same thing for height. And now one more thing I want to do. That's gonna be click xbind model and resize. What I want to do is set the default bind mode to be two-way so that it binds also back to the view model when the value is changed here. So I hope this is enough. So let's try to run this just to see what we get. Oh, right, important thing I forgot. Okay, I need to make sure that I'm also following the changes that are done from the app window itself. So I need to do is create disposables. All right, there is no disposables there. How is it possible? Oh, I used the wrong view model base. This is not the right one. This is the right one. This one. Okay, that makes sense. So disposables, add, and I will do AppWindow dot changed plus equals. Yeah, this is exactly what I would like, but it disappeared now. So I will do AppWindow changed, or on AppWindow changed, generate that method, and now on this method I will just update the fields for now. So position will be center.position, and size will be center.size. And when we are going away from the sample, we need to unsubscribe from those changes. So I will do that here. Minus equals on AppWindow changed, and that's it. Hopefully that should be enough. Although one more thing, of course, because we need to make sure that we call this as well when we start up the sample. So update properties, and this is what we need. So update properties. So basically we need to do this when the event is called or fired, and also when the view model is first loaded. So update properties like this. And let's run this. So if we're lucky, we should get a very simple sense on how these APIs work on Windows, and then we can try to implement the same things on disposable on UNO platform targets. So create, and like this, that's correct. So these disposables is just a feature of our view model base that automatically these disposables are disposed when the view model is disposed of, which is when the sample is unloaded from the view. Right, so let's wait for this to compile, and hopefully we should be working on Windows. All right, so here is our samples app, and let's go to windowing and window position and size, and we see that there is already some value there, And clicking this button shouldn't do anything because we actually didn't change the value. If I set it to 10, it moves the window accordingly. So this is good. I can set even negative values there. I should think it should be possible. Yes, it is. And yeah, and if I move the window, it is updating accordingly as well. And I can resize the window to see the changes here. Let's see if I make it this size. So it's 136. The question is, what is the size here? Is it it should be the title bar height, I guess. So yeah, let's see. Can actually verify this here. If I put a breakpoint inside of here, I can do actions, I think. Actions, continue. How is it? What is the syntax there? AppWindow size X. AppWindow size Y. Oh, height, not X. So width. Okay, so this should hopefully start outputting the values in the output window. Yes. So now we see it's 43. So I guess that would be the title bar height basically. So now it's basically just the title bar there. So in this moment, the client size will probably be 0, right? So AppWindow client size height will probably be something like 0. Would be the third value there. Yeah, it's 0. So it's title bar and client size area starting after the title bar. So this is the content itself. All right, so let's see, I'll try the resize there. So I will do something like 300, 400, 300, and height of 50, and it resizes. And what if I set something like height of 10? So it resizes to still the minimum size, which is 39 there. So I cannot resize it to less than is actually possible. And can I do something like 5,000 there? Okay, so it's actually stretching through 2 of my screens now. It's the maximum seems to be the total width of both my screens together, and nothing more can be done there. It cannot be resized more. Okay, so I guess that's just a Windows behavior that we will need to replicate. So we have a very simple sample here. So let's start with these 2 properties and let's create a sample there. Oh, what is this? I didn't do any changes there. So I will commit this sample. And pretty interesting one that I learned now is that you can use backticks in the commit messages to show the proper code like formatting in GitHub. So if I go to this PR now, even though it's actually not a PR yet, but if I go here, you can see it's nicely formatted. So it's a nice touch, nothing too fancy, but it makes your commit messages nicer overall. So I will go to our sample and let's do .NET 7. So we will target .NET 7 first, and I will focus on Windows desktop first, which is the easiest for me to test because it's just directly on my desktop, so it makes sense. Although I again opened it in the old Visual Studio, so I will do a preview one. It's better. Living on the edge. So while we're waiting for things, you can write what's your UNO platform experience, if you have tried UNO platform before, or if you have any questions about UNO platform or anything related to .NET or even software development in general. I will try to answer as far as my abilities go. All right, here we have, let's do WPF now. I will run the samples app, and if we did everything correctly, the application should crash because it does not support the position and size properties as well as the resize and move methods. So technically, the application should not work when we open that sample, of course. There's something here. Yeah. I changed the name of this property there, but I run this again. We should see it crash correctly. So let's go to UNO Skia, and we have the AppWindow class here, and I already moved those relevant properties to the main implemented class, including the size and the position, so those are there. And we have it in the windowing, Microsoft.windowing namespace, so AppWindow here. I have size and position here. And they are pointing to native AppWindow, which is kind of the wrapper around the native window on the given platform. So on WPF, it's the WPF window. On GTK, it's the GTK window. On Android, it's the Android window, and so on. So it's just a wrapper that provides the functionality AppWindow needs based on the native window that's underneath. So it's kind of adapter pattern that takes an existing API, the native window API, and adapts it to the WinUI API surface. So this is the WPF application running, and we should have the windowing here. And when I run it, and as I expected, I get not implemented exception because position and size are not implemented yet. So this is correctly throwing. And now let's actually implement this correctly. All right, because I made the rename here, I actually have visible here, and it should be renamed to is visible, so I just removed this. But now let's look at the position. So the position, I guess it should be very similar to the other properties, so I guess we can do something like this here. So I can do plain setter and getter. Point in 32 position and private size in 32 for size. And these two will be the backing fields for the native position. So getter will return position, and setter will first set the position to the value, and then, well, it should actually check if it's the same thing or not. So if position is not equal to value, then it will set it. And it should trigger the app window changed event. And now the app window changed event, I don't think we surfaced that right now. I don't think so, no. So what I could do, actually it's easier to provide an internal method here that will trigger that. So internal void on app window changed, and just trigger that event through that. And I will call that method from the native window wrapper. So window, there should be a window property here, or is it not there? So there is a native window. But I guess there is none native window wrapper property that's pointing to the window. All right, so that makes it a little bit more complicated. Let's see. We could, right, because it's hidden by the interface and it doesn't have access to anything outside of it. So what I will do is I will do an event handler or a property changed event args, and this will be kind of a property changed event that will tell the listener what specific property changed. So in this case it's going to be position. And maybe we can later improve this, but for now I'll keep it simple and refactor later. So if it's not equal, then because it doesn't have not equals operator. So property changed, we'll invoke it because it should be provided by the interface. So let's implement it as well. So here we have property changed. Yeah, that's the event. Oh, right. That's wrong, of course. So it's property changed event handler. That's the correct type. So here it's going to be this and property changed. So now we have the simple things done for the position. Then we have want to have the same thing for size. So let's do very analogously. So get size set if not size equals value, then we set size equal to value and property changed invoke for size, and that's it. So hopefully that's enough. And now we have the two methods that are changing those size and position. So I will move those up, and the move method should change the position of the native window. And I guess we can keep this one as a virtual method. And the same thing for resize. And I'm keeping it as virtual and not abstract, because by default I will keep these as empty, because on mobile devices it's mostly nonsensical to resize or move the window, although you could do it on, for example, Android and iPad OS, and we can get to that later. But for now we will keep those empty, and we will implement those advanced features later. But by default we can keep it empty. So the default behavior is it will not crash, and it will just preserve the existing values. So now that we have two methods possible to implement, I will go to WPF, and there I will go to our window wrapper, which will implement those two features now. So now let's see. Yeah, it's visible property now. And I will override move, and I will override resize. So the move method first. The WPF window has a left and also a top. Pretty simple. It's in relationship to the desktop, and it sets the position of the window. And for resize, it's gonna be WPF window dot width. Size width, and height will be the height. And the question is now how to track these values. And I will need probably some event that says that the position has changed. So changed, position change, state change, size, location changed. So on a native location changed. So I will, based on this, I will update the properties of position x equals WPF window left and right. Oh, well, not right, but top. So we set, all right, so we set the whole position. So it's going to be a new x and y equals this and like this. So we set the new position to be this. And for size changed, we have WPF size changed. And we do the same thing for the size property. Basically this. In WPF, the width and height and left and top are doubles, but in our case, we will keep it as int, so it shouldn't be a big problem. Right. So this is, I think, what we needed. The only thing that we are missing now is we're not raising the app window changed event correctly. So what I will do now is to go to AppWindow.cs. And this is not the right app window. There are actually two different types called app window in WinUI. The one that we are working with is Microsoft.windowing.appwindow. That's the modern one. And there is also Windows.UI.windowmanagement.appwindow, which is coming from UWP, and it's actually not even supported in WinUI. It's just there, kind of a legacy API that's, I guess they are going to remove at some point in time in the future, but for now it's there just for backwards compatibility, even though it doesn't actually work, so it's kind of odd. I'm not sure why they're keeping it, but it is what it is. So, right, so native app window, yeah, so when we are setting the native app window, what we will do is to attach the property. Oh, right, because I added that event to different namespace that I wanted. It should be on a native app window, this one. So there should be a property called property changed. And this is not nullable, so I will keep it like this. So property changed, and now Oh, this is lagging a lot. Okay, so we have the native property changed. Now we can see if, okay, so if the position changed, we'll do on app window changed, new app window changed, did position change true, and then else if property name equals name of a native window size, we will update the size. App window changed, new app window changed our arcs, did size change true, and that's it. So for now, very simple implementation, but it should be enough to see those properties working now. Okay, so there's an error here. It's not marked virtual. That's odd. That's wrong. Oh, right, because I forgot one parenthesis. That's the reason. Complaining about the property name that I changed, but that should be hopefully the last thing it's complaining about. Stop the build, restart, and let's cross our fingers. Oh, still nothing. Okay. Another reference is visible. That always happens when you change the name of a property. So the question is if you should use a custom control that basically uses a canvas to draw a chart. So you mean a Skia canvas, or what is the use case? But like in general, I think cross-platform library is enough unless you need to do something runtime specific. So it means if you had to do something that's WebAssembly or Skia specific, that like something that's not available on both sides, you would need to use runtime specific library. But overall, you should be enough. You should be okay with just the Uno platform cross-platform library there. That should be all that you need technically. Let's see. Windowing, app window and size, and yeah, we have the app window there. I forgot to update to get the initial native position when we launched the application, so that's why it wasn't displayed there. Hello, Michael Harris. I'm not sure what that is, but so when I resize the window, you can see the changes in the width and height. That's correct. And when let's try this. So I will do 10 and 10 and move it. And this doesn't work yet, so we need to look into what's happening there. If I test the sizing, so this doesn't work either. Okay, so still something is not completely correct there. So let's see. if I click move, it doesn't actually do anything useful. Huh. Okay, that seems that might be a problem with the data binding there, because we use xbind and potentially didn't generate the right output for the two-way binding. It wasn't a problem on WinUI, but maybe the fact that we're doing xbind to event is problematic there. So let's see, not here, but here. There should be a source generators, XAML generator, and we should be able to find the app window position and size. So this is the generated code from the app window. And now if I search for click, resize, it seems to be binding correctly, but it definitely doesn't seem to be executing that method. Or is it? Let's continue. Like here. Oh, it seems to be executing that method. Yeah, it's getting there. So that part is not a problem. And it's calling the resize method. So why? Oh, right, that explains it. So actually I implemented the properties but not the methods. So that is, it's calling correctly the resize method, but it doesn't do anything. It just is not implemented yet. So I will have to move it to the implemented file. So that's the problem. So first off, we have, so this is, oh, okay. What's the name? So there's a resize, and there is a move method as well. This is lagging very much, I'm not sure why, but maybe something got stuck in Visual Studio. Yeah. So public, or actually I have it in clipboard. So resize, this is the resize method. It should just forward that request to native AppWindow resize size. And for position, it should be move, and that's it. So hopefully this one, this should be enough to make it work, hopefully. Yeah. So let's run it again. And it seems like it didn't build because it was too fast for it to work. So I would be surprised if this worked. But it does. Okay, so it was very fast built. Or does it? Huh. So no, it wasn't a fast build, it just didn't build. Because if I put a breakpoint here, it's not actually hitting it, so I don't think it built. Why didn't it build? That's a good question, and I have actually experienced this before, so it seems like it says it succeeded, but maybe I will have to force rebuild. And I will file an issue because this is annoying. So what you are all working on? Some new exciting personal projects or something fun at work that you would want to share? Right. 100. And boom, it's resizing. All right, that's better. Now let's see if I can move the window as well. Oh yeah, it works. Okay, so machine control using Uno, that's nice, that's nice. How is your experience so far? Any issues that you would want to report or something that we should look into? All right, let's try 1000. Yeah, it works. And let's see if I can do 2000. It shouldn't let me do that. Yeah, so it resizes to the maximum available height on across all the monitors that I have available. So that is exactly what we had before. If I do 50,000 here, it just does 3,140, which is correct. So this is good. This is good. When I maximize the window, it does tell me -8 and -8, which is kind of odd. Let's see what happens here if I do that same thing. It's -8, -8. So it seems like Windows is kind of moving the window a little bit outside of the bounds of on the screen, which is odd. So KVK R&D is making a game in Uno. That's pretty cool. So it would be a XAML-based game. So it would be using XAML controls instead of drawing everything in a canvas, or it's going to be using Skia to render things. Yeah. Okay. So that's good. So you're targeting Linux or some other target? It's frame buffer or GTK or whatever. What is the target for the machine controller? All right, Linux GTK. Okay, so it's good to hear that the experience is good. We actually now have native text box input as well. So this is using the native input that's available on GTK as well. I'm not sure if it's a default right now yet, but it's going to be instead of the native overlay that we had before. So it's more built into Uno. We have more control over how the input of text looks and feels. So that's very nice. All right, so we have WPF done. So let's, actually not done yet, because we need to make sure that we update the properties initially to the right values. So what I need is to create, let's do a method that's gonna be updates size from native, and that's going to do from native. So we just need to make sure it's initialized correctly. So we will do WPF window size, width, and WPF window height. Oh, I did something I didn't want to do. WPF window height. So I set the initial size here. So update size from native and update position from native. So it's going to be the same thing, just in a different location. So now this is going to be private void update position from native. Yeah, exactly this. And I will call it here as well. So initially, when we create the window, we will get the value there. Okay, so if you're using a touchscreen and no input fields, that's fine. But yeah, when you're, well, it's actually interesting. You know, if you have a purely touchscreen device, how do you then do the input? So I guess you will have to render a kind of keyboard potentially to handle this. Right, so it's not building. Let's rebuild. Okay, now it's not just ignoring my rebuild attempt, so I guess this is not going to work right away. Exception thrown. Overflow exception. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay. We have to fix this. So you are building a game about burger joint. Yeah, so it's kind of I played quite a lot the Overcooked game on Xbox. So it feels like it could be something similar or something like that. And because you are using actual controls and target web platform, it's gonna use accessibility features. Yes, that's pretty nice. So the ARIA element, ARIA attributes on HTML elements, right? Okay. So we have overflow exceptions. I don't really like that one. So let's see, exception settings, overflow. I would like to know what's overflowing there. Yeah. What is overflowing? Oh, how did that value get there? Minus int max, I guess. Whoa. So it seems that this doesn't give you the right values initially. But how is that possible? So this is okay. Ah, not a number, right? Because it's not displayed yet, but when you display it, it shouldn't be. Okay, so, the location changed event is not triggered correctly, apparently, on WPF. So I guess what I will have to do is to run that method again after the window is shown. Come on, why is it writing the letter U? That's odd. I couldn't write the letter U in the editor. Huh, how it works? That is weird. I just cannot write it here. What? Why? Some problem with my keyboard, maybe? No, it just doesn't let me write U. Not... I can do lowercase u, but not uppercase u. Wow, that's an odd one. Yeah, okay, so I can write much. Seems Visual Studio got somehow broken, so I'll have to restart, I guess. So yeah, numeric keyboard is reasonably doable, but alphanumeric one will be more problematic. There's a lot of more fields or a lot bigger grid, so to speak, right? But I guess if you design a control like this, it could be a nice thing to provide it to the community later as well if you're interested, because I guess you're not the only one who would be interested to provide a keyboard for a touch screen as well. So the question is what exactly I'm trying to make here, and what I'm trying to do is to implement the Windows size and position features in UNO platform. Specifically, it's right. Specifically, it's adding the ability to resize and move the window on the screen for desktop devices. So that's what I'm doing now. I've so far implemented this feature on the WPF target that we have, so Windows, but we will want it on all the targets, or at least those targets where it makes sense, so desktop targets especially. So this is just the beginning of that implementation, even though I don't have that much time left, so I will probably leave the rest for the next one, but this is seems to be working at least on WPF now. So we have now the proper sizing and the proper positioning of the window, so that's good. And I'm not sure if we can easily implement it on some other target. So there's GTK, of course. GTK could be quite easy, I guess. So on GTK we should have... Hello Darsh, how are you? Right, MCNet says the problem is specific characters of each language, and that's true. That's quite problematic indeed, because you would need to go through the native language IME to get the proper values, I guess. But yeah, that adds quite another layer of complexity to everything. So GTK window. So on GTK we have set position method. Okay. But that is just a generic window position, which is an enum. I don't think we want that specifically. We would like to have something more general to exactly set the position. Let's implement override resize, and we'll do GTK with request set size request. Yeah, so this could be it. So setting the size and then move. There is a move method and it seems okay. So let's try these, and we will need to have something like GTK window size change, size allocated, I guess. So on native size changed. So this will be our size changed method. And so it's going to be size equals to, right, because we need to initialize the values as well. So I will do a similar thing that we did on Windows, update size from native, and then do private. Yeah, it's already giving me the hints here. So this is size changed. So update size from native, and I will do also position, location. So what is the moved, some kind of move event. Not sure which one of these is triggered on position change. Native. So I will create a method for that one, but I don't yet see the proper implementation there. So position equals, and yeah, I guess that could be correct, but how do you get the right event when the window is moved? So GTK window move event, size done on configure event. Is that it? Size timer. On configure event. Okay, so let's try that one. On native, on configure event. I'm not sure what this, which all of the, what are all the cases that this event handles, but we can do update position from native here, and we'll see if it works correctly. So I will run that application now, and we'll see what is the result there. Right, is visible. Oh, the question is if there is a plan to move to GTK4, and I think, of course, that would be nice, but there are some blockers with that. I think there are some issues that blocked us from being able to update. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so size change works properly. That's good. And we can try even resizing by request, but it doesn't work so far. So, okay. Did I override that method? I think I did, but right. So on resize, size request, that seems okay. Yeah. But it seems not to work, so resize, that's the method. But why doesn't the position work? But I guess it could be that just we are not initializing it correctly, so again, running that here might give us the default value there. Yeah, so there's 100. Resize works now, that's good. But position is still not doing anything useful. So I'm guessing the update position from native is not working correctly. So if I do, okay, so if I change the position, okay, it's not even triggered, so this one doesn't work either. Yeah. So what event could it be that would be relevant to us here? Let's see if Windows state. It's not going to change the Windows state, I guess. Set position, of course, but okay, maybe this is what we're missing. There should be some. I think we have done this, like add events. Not here probably, but somewhere else. We did work with this. Because it events, that's that. Yeah, GTK window add events. Okay, so this is what we need to trigger, I guess. And it's an int, so I need to understand what's the value that's supposed to be passed in there. But there is an event mask, which should give me the configure event. Huh. So there's not a configure event. Okay. Maybe property change mask. So there is a property change. Okay, that might be interesting. So on property, notify. And let's try that one. Because those are properties. So it could be that this would be enough. So I will add this here. Let's see. Okay. So this is just the default run. And 0, 0. So, okay, not correct yet. So the allocation is always 0, 0. So I don't really need, I really need something else than that. Position, something like position value. There's a window position center, but that's not really relevant. Maybe here in the native window. But now it's not executing this. So still not it. So how do you set window position on GTK? Yeah, exactly. I want to set the left and so window move, that's there. But how do you then get notified about the change? That's what I'm using there, but I would like to know that I've changed the position. Let's see if this will do anything. Yeah, this works, but how do I notice the change? Huh. Change notification. I don't see it yet, so I could get notified by drag and drop events, I guess, but it's not really the right way because you could just do it with keyboard as well, and there's many other ways. So I need something more reliable there. So I will just try again, get position. So this is get position. Okay, so it's out method. So X and Y. Okay, so I could be able to get the position this way, but I still don't like the fact that I'm not getting notified about the changes. Yeah, so I get the position now, but how do I get notified? Event, it's not an event, I guess. Window resize, but not. This example of moving GDK configure. GDK configure. What is the GDK configure value then? So it's value 13. Well, I can try for sure. Just GK. So it's not here. Configure. Okay, so I'll just do manually 13, but it doesn't seem right. Let's see. Apparently not. Yeah, see you next time, MCNets. So what is this? Yeah, I will be also ending this stream soon. So I guess for now we at least implemented the WPF part correctly, which is working with both properties. This one, so far, the position, I'm not able to get it directly. What I could do is to just forward the request of the position to the native window and get it from there on the request. When the user requests the position, just call this and get it there. But I am surprised there is no, at least there's no clear way to subscribe to movement as well. So yeah, it's something to investigate for next time, I guess. Also, something I didn't get to today is to continue with my port of StackPanel, because we have open PR with StackPanel port from WinUI, and there is not that much to do there actually. It's mostly ported, but it's been ported from some older version, so we need to include some of the latest changes, including the spacing, collapsing change, but it shouldn't be too hard. And when we do this, we should have completely aligned StackPanel behavior with WinUI, which is always good because we then know that we are doing exactly what WinUI is doing, and we don't have to be afraid of any discrepancies between WinUI and UNO platform. So that's something I want to get to probably next time. But yeah, I guess today, unfortunately, we couldn't break through the GTK part, but yeah, it's something that I can work on in the meantime, and then next time I can show you how it ended up looking, what was the issue, what was the solution to this, hopefully, if I figure it out. Or if you have any ideas, definitely send it to me and I will try it out, because like there should be an event or something that tells you what the window position change is. So yeah. Okay, so Mohammed has made a software to make 2D simulations. I mean, marketing and getting people to know about your product is always kind of problematic, because you need to not only do the development part of things, but also marketing wise. And I guess a good thing is to promote it on social media. That's of course the easiest step, that doesn't cost you anything. Or then you can also pitch the idea to some business leaders or some people who would be interested into such a software, and then get potentially their investment maybe or something like that. So I guess I'm not the best person to answer this question, but yeah. In case of UNO platform, it has become open source, so that is also a way to provide the software as open source solution and then monetize it somehow, to sell these licenses or to have some kind of subscription to it or something like that. And the benefit of having open source is that people can also help you support the project, and you can give people the opportunity to contribute to the project as well. So that can be interesting as well, but it comes with a different set of challenges as well. So it's having your source code available online as an open source thing means that someone can use it in their project, and you need to make sure that your license is set correctly, so that if you don't want others to use your code in their commercial projects, you need to make sure that your license is set properly. So yeah, I think that's it for today's session. I will be committing those changes that we did, plus marking this as a draft, because this is not yet done definitely. And next time we can continue with some other platforms, other targets that we have. And ideally, we would get also to the other properties that we have in AppWindow. For example, a client size, which is very relevant to get the client's window size, not just the window size, including the title bar. And then also implementing the same things on the other targets like Android, iOS, macOS, and so on. So lots of things to do. but it's going to be fun. And of course, AppWindow also has other interesting things like application title bar customization. So that's something that we can also try to do. So yeah, many interesting things to do. I'm not sure what you mean there, grass to class. Yeah, we're of course competing against Flutter and React Native. It's hard competition because Google is Google, so it's a hard competition, and we of course see that Flutter is growing every day, so we need to keep up. But I think in terms of developers that are in the .NET ecosystem, Xamarin or rather Maui or Uno platform and Avalonia, all of these options are viable, and they are providing a very interesting way for existing projects or existing developers on .NET ecosystem to bring their applications everywhere. So I think it's something that we're working on, and we're excited to work on it because it's just something that allows us to build also applications using .NET that run on all targets. So yeah, I just prefer .NET. So that's one of the reasons I want to help grow Uno platform, because it makes it possible for me also to build applications that run on all targets. So I guess that would be my answer. Anyways, I think that's it for today. So I thank you very much for joining this session. I will hopefully see you next week, or maybe even earlier. We will see what the time availability will be. But until then, make sure you keep coding and make sure you have a great week ahead. And see you next time. Bye-bye.